Welcome to the newsstand of the hottest new podcast, Opinions 2 Million, with your hosts, Big G, Money Mo, and Shawnee, where we'll be discussing the latest and greatest heat from the culture. Man, did you hear that beat drop? You ain't ready. Let's get straight into it. Opinions to reach 1 million followers, opinions to reach $1 million. New pod dropping every week. I officially welcome you to Opinions 2 Million podcast. Let the beat rock. Welcome.
Yes, sir.
Welcome. We're back for another one. Episode 41. And we've been rolling strong. 41 down. It's been a long time. We got the whole crew. Money Mo.
Yes, sir.
Big G. We're missing Cam is out sick. You got a replacement. Maya.
Yes, sir.
Let's go ahead and get started, man. We got a lot to talk about today. We was off the last couple of weeks. Thanksgiving next week, man. We're going to get straight into it. Kanye's still back in the news, man. Kyrie, they didn't put some crazy demands on him, man. They said, you got to get down and kneel before us before we let you back in. And it's a crazy story going on about Sean Kyle Robinson, man. They had a trip of terror. And elections was recently held. Man, Blueface running on a murder charge. Is 21 Savage tripping? Can he really wash anybody in the verses from his freshman class? 2016 XXL freshman class list? Man, Israel Adesanya, man, took a massive L in UFC the other day. Twitter stopped mass verification after trolls take over the platform, man. People say he getting it by any means necessary. You need to reply yes by 3 p.m. or you fired. 3 months severance package. The crypto market is in shambles. 1 year ago, Bitcoin hit an all-time high, $65,000. Now we're hovering right around 16,500, man. It's all because of unsavory characters. And the second largest crypto firm, FTX, is on the brink of collapse. Man, Takeoff had his funeral, and seems like the Prince family did not show up, but they put a strange memorial outside of the bowling alley. Man, we got to discuss that. That's definitely very suspicious. They linked some new boxing matches coming up. Andrew Tate versus Jake Paul. And then breaking news today, Ryan Garcia versus Gervonta Davis. We already know who's taking the win in that one. We're going to see what's going on. The UVA shooting. World population now hit over 8 billion. Then this Texas teacher was tripping. My man admitted to being a racist. And then you know what? They said that World Cup is in Qatar, baby. They said, you ain't repping none of that stuff over here. You come over here, we ain't changing our policies for a 28-day soccer tournament. Y'all better not come over here with none of that funny mess, because we live in no separation of church and state. You know what that means. We're going to see how that goes. And let's see if they protest over there. Let's see how much they really believe in it. But we're going to go ahead and get started, man. It always seems like it's like this. When Kanye gets in the news cycle, he's in the news cycle and he's dominating it for he's dominating the news cycle for the majority of the time that he's in there, right? So he's dominating the news cycle. So you know, he came out, Kanye did an interview recently, and he said that he is not afraid of anybody, that God is the only person that he serves, and that they control other people like Charles Barkley, Shaq, Kanye, Jay-Z, and Beyonce, but they don't control him. And then he said that, you know, his mother's gone, and that she was sacrificed, and that Michael Jordan's son was sacrificed, and Michael Jordan's father was sacrificed, and listing all of these people that sacrificed. Man, what's your thoughts on it? Y'all think there's any given the industry that there's some type of blood sacrifice, or you think there's something that, you know, you have to go through some type of ritual in order to be successful?
Yeah, I 100% believe that. I believe like most of the ways to advance, not obviously not everybody, but like a lot of ways to advance in this world is to do, you know what I'm saying? And I'm not talking about sacrifices like that, the ways they people think, like on the altar. I mean, they may do that type of stuff, but if I feel like it's all like a crazy thing, like a spiritual way, not like actually sacrificing people. But it's actually interesting what Kanye said about the actual sacrifices happening with his mom and stuff like that. I believe, I don't know how to explain, but I believe 100%. It's like, it's crazy because the industry is definitely wicked. We always hear about wicked stuff going on. So I believe that 100%.
Yeah, we definitely gonna see how it plays out. I mean, Kanye's on a stampede. I mean,
Right.
he looked like he's on a mission to expose everything. So if there was
Right.
some
We'll see
type
if
of
he get taken out. Yeah.
sacrifices going on, I think that this would be the perfect time for him to expose or for some of that stuff to get some light shine um, on it.
Yeah. It was like, I think I seen a video on YouTube. One of these celebrities, I think it's Vicky, was trying to say she went to a party in Hollywood, a Bella Thorne party.
Mm-hmm.
Into the party, you gotta get a prick of your blood to the bouncer or something like that. That might just be some weird stuff, but it's definitely some stuff going on.
Nah, sacrifices I don't know about, but I'm pretty sure there's some
Yeah.
weird stuff
It's some
going
weird
on.
stuff.
Weird stuff going on. I mean, you can
Right.
like, yeah, you already know there's weird stuff going on.
It's some
Just
weird
from
stuff.
There's some weird stuff going on outside of Hollywood and the rich and famous. So I know with the money and resources, they're doing
Yeah.
something.
Like Scientology, all that stuff. Like I said, like demons are real. If you don't got God with you, then demons could definitely make some crazy stuff happen for you. You just not promised heaven.
But how much can you believe what Kanye says? Do you think that he's telling the truth?
I think he thinks he's telling the truth.
Yeah, I think it's some truth to it. He just over exaggerates.
Yeah.
I think one of the text messages he was texting a famous Hollywood fitness trainer. Talk about he was gonna tranquilize. He said if Kanye don't chill out, he gonna put him in zombie land or something like that.
Nah, I think there's some, with money and stuff like that comes
Right.
power and control. Like I think there's stuff going on to the extent of it and what you would believe. I don't know, but I do think Kanye thinks he's telling the truth. Whether you try to classify that as some type of mental health stuff or whatever, I do think that.
Yeah. Now I was saying like I don't think we ever explained the Jew part too. Like he opened in a lot of conversations with Kyrie and stuff. Because a lot of black people like when you read the Bible and stuff like that, it gives a lot of glimpses to how skin color was back then. And it's like God chose a certain group of Jews to lead his people. And it was like, if you read Deuteronomy 28, it shows that God cursed the people that he chose to lead because they denied Jesus when Jesus came. And in Deuteronomy 28, it shows about like how some of the curses were going to be slavery, were going to be the people being stripped from their land and stuff like that. So if you think about it, it is Africa. Like that part, it's just like some people, it's obviously a possibility, but you get them crazy black Israelites that just making the bad name of it. But like Kanye's saying is like you can't be racist if I think I'm that type of person. Like as black people, we lost our identities to slavery. So, and for that identity, you can't really blame him. You know what I'm saying? Because black people bash black people all day long. There's nothing to say about that. But when he says that, I'm like, eh.
Yeah, I think most people get mad about just like how it's not equal smoke across the board. You know what I'm saying?
Right, yeah.
Like certain communities feel like they get disrespected.
But I feel like that's on us because it's like they hold their communities to a certain standard and they don't let it slide. Whereas in our community, we let so much slide.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
That's a fact.
So
and I mean, we're going to kind of see it in that next topic with Stephen A. Smith. What's the other people? Shannon Sharp. That were all condemning Kyrie, but now to come around and say that, oh, this is too far and all of that. You know, if there's other people, they would have never said nothing in the first place. Like, you know how
Right.
I think me and Mo been pretty consistent on it. Like, you know, you might not agree, but it ain't in us to tear down and make a public spectacle about it. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Exactly. Yeah. That's true. And then what you could say too is like, we were already like when we came over, like in slavery, we were never able to dance over the top to control a lot of stuff.
Mhm.
I'm like, you know what I'm saying? So it's an interesting topic.
Yeah, but I wanted to see Kanye put some more light on these blood sacrifices, man.
Right,
See
right.
what's going on. But when you look into some of the people who called it, like the Michael Jordan's dad story is real suspicious, man.
It
That he
is. It's suspicious, yeah.
fell asleep on the side of the highway. That joint's kind of suspicious.
Definitely controlling aspects. You like Michael Jackson, all types of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That's the easy way to kill somebody, not get blamed. Like drugs, you know what I mean? So you can, you know, some of these suppliers, celebrity suppliers, they could be lacing that stuff on purpose. I mean, they do lace it on purpose, but that can all be a thing where it's like multiple partners doing it. Oh, that's weird.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that's crazy. But a big thing too, like about this whole topic is like Kanye was saying was like, of course the Holocaust is bad and stuff, but people overlook slavery just because it didn't seem as inhumane when it really was, as the Holocaust was, because it was 400 years. That's crazy to think about.
Yeah, and then I guess the people we're trying to get to care about it are the people that did it and are okay
Right.
with it. So it's like, of course, they're not going to be like it was bad when they probably still are telling stories about slavery from their grandparents and great grandparents.
Exactly.
I don't know.
Listen to this, right? Say all of us on this podcast want to travel to a foreign country. Say we pick Cyprus, right?
Yeah.
We go to Cyprus, which is in the Mediterranean, and we go there and start a slavery museum, right? And now, anytime people talk about Black people, we say they're racist and all of that. Like, could you imagine the reaction that you would get from the people that was there? Like, this didn't happen here. Why are y'all over here doing that? And
Right.
just from giving an example like that, and the reaction that we get in the U.S., for you to say that they have no power, like you would have to be absurd. Like it didn't happen over here. We can't even get recompense from what did happen here, right?
Right, that's true.
Like, can you? I don't know. I have to do some research on here, but outside of the countries that were like in certain parts of South America, the Caribbean, and in the States, like, are there slavery museums in Africa? Are there slavery museums other places? Like,
right, that's true.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, that's true.
You think like how many places outside of Germany have Holocaust museums, and then think about how many places outside the United States and those other countries that I mentioned, the Caribbean and certain parts of South America, have slavery museums.
Right.
I'm pretty sure it's lopsided one.
Yeah,
one
it's
way.
definitely That's definitely true.
This is something to think about, man. But we're gonna keep this joint moving. We're gonna go to Kyrie, man. They said Kyrie officially issued an apology. They said the apology wasn't good enough. They put a list of demands for Kyrie has to meet. Some of the things on the list is that he needs to donate $500,000. He needs to meet with the owner of the Brooklyn Nets. He needs to meet with the leaders of the Jewish community. He needs to meet with the leaders of the ADL. What were some of the other things? He needs to issue an apology. I think those were pretty much it. Crazy. So now you got a lot of people coming out, like I was saying earlier, that were kind of outside saying that Kyrie was wrong for doing what he did. And still note that Amazon has not taken down the movie. They actually have increased the price of the movie.
That's crazy.
Yeah, if you go in and like the movie used to be, they said like less than $15. Now to buy it, now to buy the movie, you have to pay $50.
Good
They're
Lord.
literally capitalizing off of the joint. They've raised the price of the movie, man. They
That's
never get
crazy.
so much free promo in their life. But yeah, the movie's gone up. I would doubt if Amazon even addresses the situation, man, to be honest.
Right.
But you know, they put out these lists of demands. Now you have certain people coming out, like Stephen A. and Shannon Sharp, that were very critical of Kyrie Irving and all of this, and saying now, like, all right, the man apologized. What more do you want him to do? This list is way too much. So, what's your thoughts on the thing?
Right. It's crazy. I'm like, yeah, they haven't taken it down. I'm just like, man, like, and this is all happening because of that. He posted, people should watch it. And it's crazy, like, how they try to make it seem like he hates Jews and stuff like that, or the Jews of today.
Mm-hmm.
None of that. Like, it's people, I think a lot of people just scared of, like, people trying to search for what could possibly be the truth in general. So it's but they make me
Like,
down now, man.
you know, and it just seems like messed up to quote Farrakhan during this because they say he's anti-Semitic. But like, if you to me logically, like, why I don't agree with like cancellation and stuff, because if people are saying stuff that is blatantly false, if you combat it with the truth, like, you know what I'm saying, that it's easily corrected, right? But if you say, oh, you're saying false stuff and you don't deserve a platform and all of that, and you kick them off, all they're going to do is go surround themselves with people that are going to continue to spew stuff like them. And that's how you get, you know, the radicalists and things like that. So like, you know, Farrakhan had one famous line in one of his last speeches that a lot of people mistook and misquoted, but, you know, throwing stones of truth at falsehood, right? So like, you know what I'm saying? If people are saying incorrect information, you correct it with the truth. What's the real information, right? But saying, oh, you incorrect and delete, it's only going to put them in places with people that agree with them. And then, you know, that festers into other stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's true. It's like, yeah, because it's like people's, yeah, like you say, they saying you wrong, but they ain't not saying no facts yet. So that's going to cause more people to search about what he could possibly mean, what Kyrie could have actually meant, and then they're gonna find some truths on that end. But nobody actually corrected Kyrie on like what he was wrong about. So you're right. They're just saying he's wrong.
Yeah, I mean, it's just crazy to think that all that from tweeting a link.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And
crazy.
People have watched it and said, like, one of the major contention points or stuff that they say is where they're saying is anti-Semitic is, I guess, the document. I haven't watched it. I don't plan on paying $50 to watch it, but the documentary questions the amount of people that actually died in the Holocaust, right? They question if it was actually 6 million. I don't know if it's 6 million or not, but you know, that's one of the points they question, right? I'm pretty sure people have questioned how many people died during slavery, and it don't get this much uproar and attention.
Right.
You know, they even writing down in certain books in Texas that the people were indentured servants and things like that. You know, they stay whitewashing what happened during slavery. And it's definitely going to be on people to keep up. And, you know, even in like sometimes when you hear this stuff, like it seems so outlandish that you don't even think it's true. You know, in certain parts of Florida that they were using Black babies as bait for alligators.
Yep. Even like human,
you know what I'm saying? Like some stuff you hear that's like so absurd that you got to be like, that's fake. Literally, there's newspaper articles about it.
Even human zoos.
The human zoos. They have a crazy story about a lady that they took from South Africa and paraded all over Europe in the zoos. I think they had one famous Black person in the New York City Zoo. So I mean,
Right.
it's
crazy.
but, if you question anything like that, or you talk about the
Right.
people
They
that
forget it.
say that, and we'll talk about this later, that white people are superior and all of this, and measuring brainy your skull, and that saying that you have the size for a bigger brain. I mean, like all of this kind of stuff, and eugenics and stuff. It was like, oh, all of that's cool, but if you question certain stuff for certain people, it's automatic no. So, like Maya was saying, like we gotta. Can you hear me? We got to establish a code and stick to it, right?
Right.
But go ahead, Maya.
Yeah, I just don't know. I don't think that, in my opinion, I don't think that African Americans in the United States are ever gonna have full equality. I mean, I just don't think that.
Right.
I don't know. That's just my opinion. And the sad part about it is we don't have a place to go where we can kind of call our own.
Right, exactly.
What do y'all think about the people that were saying that what they kind of doing to Kyrie is a form of what they used to do during slavery called buck breaking?
Yeah. What was that? That's when they it was something about the boat, right?
So with the buck breaking, little history lesson is they had a thing which they called the Virginia Slave Codes, right? There was one portion during slavery where most of us know, like, the Black people were slaves, but also people that would come over from the United Kingdom would be indentured servants, right? Where they would work along slaves or be overseers or things of that nature to pay off their debt in order to gain, I would say freedom, but like quote unquote freedom, right? And in the quarters or on the plantations, the indentured servants, the whites and the Blacks started to mix, right? And the plantation owners didn't want the poor class whites mixing with the slaves. So what they did is establish a thing called Virginia Slave Codes, where they hired one, I can't remember the man's name, but there was a brutal like slave owner from the West Indies that came up and established like a whole system of slavery. And out of his visit came the Virginia Slave Codes, what kind of established order. And out of that came buck breaking, right? With buck breaking, you would take like the biggest, blackest slave that you would have, like kind of like saying the alpha male of the slaves, and then you would demoralize or humiliate them in front of all the other slaves, right? To say that, like, if this can happen to him, imagine what could happen to you, right? So so that's what that's what some people are kind of quoting, like, all right, if you say Kyrie messed up by tweeting the link, right? After some resistance, he issued an apology, but now since you resisted us, the apology is not good enough, right? So not only do you have to apologize, you got to donate money, you got to meet with these people, and until you do that on our terms, you are going to be riding the bench.
Yeah. I mean, that's like, I feel like it's a good illustration, honestly. I'm like, that's exactly like a good one. Like, obviously different type of butt breaking, but it's same concept, really. And just going back, I'm just like, all he did was posted a video link. If you post a video, every movie has something crazy in it. You know what I'm saying? You could post a scary movie and you'd be like, oh, you offending people. You could post a Halloween movie. Oh, you offending people that got killed by serial killers. You know what I mean?
Yep.
If you open, I'm like, it's crazy.
I got a good question for you and Maya. Do you think the Kyrie thing would have been taken as serious as it has been without Kanye doing what he did? Right? So say the whole thing with Kanye didn't happen. The whole DEFCON 3
Right.
didn't happen. Do you think Kyrie tweeting a link anybody would have made a big deal out about it?
Yeah. Actually, I don't think so. I don't think so.
Because you got to remember, Kanye did that and then went to do several interviews after that. Like, so not only DEFCON,
fire.
Yeah, he did all these interviews, all this stuff. Pierce Morgan, he did Lex Friedman, he did what else? Chris Como.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He did all it, like Drink Champs. He even did LeBron's The Shop, and they didn't even put that episode out.
Right.
Along with like numerous paparazzis and continue to tweet and all of this stuff. So like, you know, it wasn't like, I think it wouldn't have been like it was without Kanye kind of setting the fire ablaze.
Yeah, that's true. 100%. And because like you remember Nick Cannon got slapped for it.
Yeah, but I don't like for me, like Nick tried to come out and speak about this, but I'm not listening to him, Like you begged and cried and pleaded with them people last time they did that to you.
Right. That's true. Yeah.
When he had one of the rappers on his joint. I can't remember the name now, but yeah, when they took your show, Wildin' Out and all of that, and you didn't have no rights to it. So
yeah,
it is what it is, man. We're gonna keep the show moving. We're gonna throw it to Maya, man. Chantel. Next story we got. What's the lady name? Chantel Robinson. Maya, you got the overview on this?
Chantel Robinson, man, 4 years old. She went on a trip with her friends to Mexico for some of the friends' birthdays and wound up dead within 24 hours. And friends flew back home. The whole story is just crazy. And I'll let Gary finish the rest of the overview.
That's crazy. From what I understand, they went down on a trip.
I think it was
to Cabo,
right? Oh, Cabo, yeah.
Cabo. They had a villa. It was like 4 girls and 3 dudes. And like Maya said, within 24 hours, they were flying back. And they left the girl there dead in the hotel room floor. Right? They said she was found by police, where they're saying like stories of contradiction, where they're telling the girl's mom she died of alcohol poisoning and all of this stuff. But the report from the autopsy is saying that, she died from some kind of blunt force trauma. Right? But the reports from the police down in Mexico were saying that they didn't suspect any type of, foul play or any like murder situation like that. But the mom, is questioning like what's going on. And then come to find out that all the people that were there are telling different stories. And then a fight video leaks where the girl is fighting her quote unquote best friend in the hotel room. And we should use fighting in quotation marks because the best friend is just wailing on her. The girl doesn't throw no punches. She says she doesn't want to fight. Everybody behind the camera is egging them on to fight. And literally the girl is just beating her. The girl falls down to the ground and she's still wailing and hitting on her and all kind of stuff. And then, hours after that, somehow everybody packs their bags and flies back home. And that girl's just left dead on the hotel floor.
Crazy.
And supposedly, like, the doctors went to work, like they posted everybody's addresses, all the names of the people that did it. Well, I think this quote unquote best friend did an interview on Shade Room yesterday. I didn't even tune into that nonsense.
Oh, dang.
Like once the fight video leaks, like you already suspicious.
Yeah,
what
exactly.
I'm saying?
It's over after that.
Yeah, so like, and then the fact that you would just leave them
Yep.
If somebody really died from alcohol poisoning, you're gonna pack your bags, leave them on the hotel floor, and hit the Saranaya,
Right.
like you just out.
And if they, you ever put somebody trying to say about that fight video, they're trying to say the the blunt trauma came from that fight video. It was nothing big. I was like, yeah. They said it came from that fight video was the only hit she took. That's why she got the bruises and stuff. I'm like, nah.
Sometimes you get them brain contusions, and that's why they tell you, like, if you play any type of physical contact sports, that like if you get hit in the head or any type of concussion protocol, that you're not supposed to go to sleep. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Exactly.
That just because maybe you took a hit to the head, that might have turned to some internal bleeding, which could cause your brain to swell and things of that nature. So just because it's not instantaneous doesn't mean other things can't, happen.
Right. Exactly.
But, I don't even feel comfortable referring to it as a fight video. She took a whooping. That's what it was.
Exactly.
The girl, she didn't fight. And she literally just got beat up.
Yep, exactly.
She didn't put up no resistance. She didn't try to defend herself. Yeah. All you heard in the background is fight back, fight back.
Right.
Girl literally just fell on the ground and just took hits.
Sad. That situation is crazy.
It's beyond crazy, man.
Yeah.
And they quote unquote friends.
Right.
So you telling me you're gonna go down there, something's gonna happen, and you're just gonna leave a person dead and think nothing's gonna happen when y'all get back?
Exactly.
Like nobody's gonna miss the person, nobody's gonna ask questions.
Right. It's like one of the movies, man. I feel like straight out of the movie. They try to figure out a plan. They all froze up and just left.
Yeah, I definitely think there's gonna be a documentary about this joint in a couple of years.
Yeah, definitely.
What really happened in Cabo at the Villa.
Right.
Yep. Yeah. But we're gonna keep on moving on. Recently had the elections. Everybody was predicting this big old crazy red wave. But to a lot of people's surprise, the red wave did not happen.
Right.
Like the Democrats were expecting to lose a lot of seats in the House, and they were expected to lose the Senate. But I think they kept control, or like 50-50 of the Senate. And then recently it was just reported that, they lost the majority in the House. And a lot of crazy stuff is going on. Trump just recently announced that he's running again. Pelosi literally announced yesterday or today that she is stepping down as the Speaker of the House, but she's still remaining in a role. But it's crazy, man. Election season going on. Things are getting mixed up, switched up. In Maryland, we got
Westmore.
Yeah, Westmore as a little. That was one thing crazy to learn, that Westmore is the third Black governor throughout the United States. I did not know.
I never knew that. Dang.
Yeah, there's only been 2 before him, not just in Maryland, out of all states.
That's crazy. What?
I didn't know. I thought that was wild, man. I definitely thought there was way more Black governors than just 2 before him. Sure. So
that's crazy.
That's some interesting news. I did not know that.
That's crazy.
Yeah, but the politics, always interesting. Once it gets time around election season, funny things start happening.
Yep.
And if you think they're doing blood sacrifices in the entertainment industry, man, what do you think they're doing in politics?
They do a lot of crazy stuff to get up in those spots.
I'm dead.
A lot of corruption, 100% corruption.
Mm-hmm. Let's keep it going, man. Blueface wanted on attempted murder charges. Did y'all see this? The way the story broke, like you act like it happened over the weekend, but from doing some research, the situation with the shooting of Blueface allegedly did the shooting at the strip club happened months ago. And then when he went back to Las Vegas with his girl, the bounty hunters found him and, took him in custody. He had a warrant out for his arrest. So, that's crazy. So we're going to see. He got $50,000 bail. We're going to keep you all up to date on the story, but it looks like Blueface might be going down for this one, man. They got surveillance video of him, which look like he's shooting a gun. So we'll see what happens.
Facts, not looking good.
Did you hear about that? Kid Yella tried to call Blueface's manager, Whack 100, and extort him, saying that he had control of the dude that allegedly got shot by Blueface. And they wanted to work out a deal.
Yeah, what? Oh yeah, because Kid Yella like he owned Vegas.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was dying.
I can't take it.
Yeah, they said Whack hung up on him, said, "I'm taking my chances in court."
Yeah.
I was dying, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna keep going, man. It was a sad. All right, so this story is absurd. 21 Savage has been in a lot of heat lately. He did make some announcements saying, was it Mace that he said wasn't relevant? I don't really got too much input. Nas said he wasn't relevant.
Right.
I'm not listening to Nas, so I don't really got nothing to say about that. But it's crazy to say that 21 Savage says that he can beat anybody in his 2016 freshman class list in the verses.
Right.
What's your thoughts on that? Let me read out some of the people in that joint. He said he can beat all of these people. Then you got Uzi, you got G Herbo, you got Designer, you got Yachty, you got Kodak Black, you got Denzel Curry, you got G Easy, you got Cardi B, Little Dicky, Dave East, Denzel Curry, I already said Anderson .Paak, and then 21 Savage. Y'all really think that 21 Savage is running away with the dub? All that?
Heck
who
no.
Who do you think on that list is beating 21?
I think Uzi.
This just Uzi?
I think he got Playboy Cardi. I think Uzi and Kodak beating him. Yeah, he got G Herbo.
21 said he was better than Uzi and Kodak.
He said he's beating everybody on there.
That album with Drake got him feeling himself.
Right.
Most definitely.
Yeah. 100%.
Uzi, I think, is close.
I think
I think Uzi beats him, but I think it's closer. But Kodak, like, I can name 5 Kodak hits that 21's not even coming close to.
Right. And you can't count features.
Skrilla, No Flocking, like,
what's
Transportation,
Super Gremlins?
Yeah, Super Gremlin. Like, he ain't coming nowhere close to them joints.
No, heck no, no way.
With no song.
At all.
So, I never heard anybody say turn that 21 on.
Right.
M's in the bank account. That's the only song I know, and that joint's even kind of played out. M's in the bank account.
Right.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
That's
6,
it. Yeah.
7, 8 M's in the bank account.
It's trash.
Mm-hmm. So, man, we're gonna see. Hopefully, they set something up. I think Kodak washes them.
Yeah, for sure. Uzi too.
Mm-hmm. Next, we got Israel Adesanya. He took a massive L this last weekend in the UFC fight, man. He lost the belt. He was favored to win. He actually fought somebody that he previously fought earlier in his career in kickboxing that knocked him out too. So it's wild.
Crazy.
Yeah. The man he fought only had 5 UFC fights, but they fought earlier before Izzy started doing UFC. He was a kickboxer, and this man beat him and knocked him out in kickboxing, right? So it's going to be crazy to see how he comes back from this and to see if he can get his belt back.
Right. That'll be crazy. It'll be interesting.
Yep. Up next, man, Twitter. Twitter's been going through crazy transformation. Elon said everybody pay their $8, you can get verified. And then that set the stage for the trolls to run wild, right? You had people saying that vaccine companies were giving people lethal injections, that companies were giving away free products. LeBron James was requesting a trade. Like, people were getting verified and making handles and just impersonating people like crazy, man. So Twitter was running rampant, and Elon had to step back in and say, we got to cancel this program and then reconsider, man. But it was a lot going on, still a lot going on at Twitter. Mo can talk about it a little more, but Elon said he getting it straight, man. They said they're cutting about 75% of their workforce. They sending out emails. If you comply, if you complaining that, you need to leave. Elon said he even getting rid of the free lunch that employees used to. That was the perk of them tech jobs. You used to get that free lunch. He said he getting rid of all of that. He said Elon sent out a message saying that you already be working twice as hard, long hours. If you're not with it, say no. If you with it, say yes. And if you click no, you get 3 months severance package and you're fired. They said that they're sending out memes to people and saying that you're fired. They're not even sending out letters. They're sending out pictures of Elon with across the top, you're fired. They said Critter going wild.
And it's crazy. It's just like, I think it's gonna be something that people he sold it to might create something else. I do feel like with the social media nowadays, the platforms are already set. I don't feel like people are gonna migrate unless it's something crazy. So we was waiting for TikTok because Vine left. That's why people on TikTok now. But the stages are set. You got Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like if they make something else, it'll be too hard to migrate over to. But people, man, I don't know how tech works in terms of the computer science field, but I'm like, one thing I will say is don't change nothing that don't need changing. Of course, there's new ideas that can be floated around, but I'm like, Twitter was good, but then, what I'm saying?
But you saying that from a user standpoint. Twitter was losing millions of dollars a day.
I never knew that. Dang.
As a company. So
yes, I did see that. You're right.
As a user, you don't want changing, but if the company's losing millions of dollars, and I feel like Elon, a lot of people are, he's doing extra to compound it. Like, the stuff that he was doing in cuts, maybe not as drastic, was going to happen anyway. Like, you got to look at it. Amazon recently released that they
10,000
people. 10,000.
We think they make so much money.
Facebook said they already lay off like 75,000. Like, all these tech companies are laying people off. They thought they were going to grow way faster than they did. The pandemic happened, right? Things that they were boosting up. The economy was going great for a while, and then things completely flattened out. So
you're right.
You know what I'm saying? You got to reposition and re-strategize. So we'll see what happens. The Vine, I think if he gets that Vine up and running right, that that could be a serious competitor to TikTok.
Yeah, because TikTok more China.
Yeah, so especially if they get more pressed on that privacy concerns, that might be a country. And then one thing you got to realize about Elon is that a lot of people think that Elon has been a founder his career, right? Like,
he's always bossed up like PayPal.
Like, he didn't found PayPal. He came on. He didn't found Tesla. He came on and brought the company. So, like, this is his wheelhouse. You know what I'm saying? He's not a founder. He comes in, buys companies, and turns them around. So I think in due time, while things look crazy now, in the end, it's all going to work out.
Yeah, I think he has a plan too, because he said trying to get people paid. You know what I'm saying? Like Instagram, you get people paid by advertisement. It's definitely Black Twitter runs Twitter. They can definitely see payment. And at the end of the day, he made a good point. People complaining about Twitter while being on Twitter. So, it's like, who the real problem? The people that's getting fired, they tweeting that they getting fired, laughing emojis. I'm like, okay, y'all use the platform.
Yeah, they even had people faking like they was getting fired. That joke was wild.
No.
That joint was crazy. But we're gonna keep it moving, man. And although I keeping up with some business talk, the crypto market's going wild, man. Little over a year ago, Bitcoin was trading at $65,000. Today it's at 16,500. FTX, the second largest Bitcoin, or I shouldn't say Bitcoin, the second largest crypto exchange, is on the brink of collapse, man. They've been doing a lot of mismanagement. They said there's fraud going on, weird stories about the founder and setting up with shell companies that he's loaning money out to, and all the board of trustees are having orgies and stuff, man. It's a lot of crazy stuff going on with FTX. But in short, FTX was a cryptocurrency exchange, the second largest after Binance, right? They were having the owner of FTX was in kind of a feud with the owner of Binance, right? They were going back and forth and all of this stuff. Then the owner of Binance held a large portion of FTX coin, and then he tweeted saying that, oh, we're going to go ahead and dump all of our holdings of FTX coin onto the free market, right? And supposedly FTX reached out to Binance behind the scenes and said that, we'll buy all of your coins at a fixed price at this, right? Because if you do an off-market sale, then you could do that without fluctuating or affecting the price on the open market, right? But if you go ahead and dump on the open market, it's definitely going to plummet it, right? So that's when that happened. Binance dumped on the open market. It plummeted FTX, right? And when people saw FTX starting to plummet, they went to the platforms and started trying to withdraw money, right? And just that, if you don't have that liquidity, right, as a platform, then things start to happen where you gotta halt people withdrawing their money and things like that. So that's kind of where it's at now. Like the company's not completely solvent, but it is in like a limbo state where they have paused all withdrawals and transactions like that. And then since that was the second largest crypto exchange, a lot of other crypto infrastructure around them had money invested and things like that. So other things started to go down. Like one of the things like BlockFi and other things of that nature are now kind of halting their withdrawals. So it's a lot going on in the crypto market, right? So we hope something happens. They said on the back end that they're looking at trying to get some funding, but man, it's kind
trust
of
is gone.
And that the owner of FTX went from having like an $8 billion fortune to literally almost nothing in a matter of like 2 weeks.
Right.
Can you imagine having an $8 billion net worth to practically zero?
And it's crazy because I'm just like, that's going to kill everybody's trust in general.
Mm-hmm.
Like even with us, we had trust issues, but like now we only really mess with, I guess, Coinbase and maybe a hardware wallet. But then that's going to have everybody having trust issues.
But you know how much money that saved us in the long run now?
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. That's true. Yeah.
Because all of that hype on NFTs and all these platforms, like when we was in the ICO craze,
right?
We learned our lesson. You stick with what's working, dollar cost average, and keep it moving.
That's why I tell people lessons learned are worth more than money.
Mm-hmm.
That's the biggest thing. Taught us not to value money how we should. Get a loss, keep it moving.
The next thing on the agenda, man, is Takeoff. Takeoff recently passed away. They had the funeral for him in Atlanta. A lot of people were questioning and wondering if the Prince family was going to make an appearance. They did not make an appearance, but they did set up a so-called memorial at the grave site, or I mean not the grave site, but at the location where Takeoff was killed. And this thing is really strange, right? Because The memorial is probably, I would say, a good 30, 40 feet long and probably like 6 feet high. And there's like a 3 foot by 1 foot sign that says "Rip Takeoff." The rest of it says H-Town, infinity sign, the Prince family. Can you please explain to me what kind of memorial that is?
I don't get
So
it.
y'all had a alleged role to play in the killing of Takeoff, and then instead of just putting up something simple, "Rip Takeoff,"
It's about them.
you put up like a 30-foot sign of roses saying H-Town, affinity sign, the Prince family, and then a 1 foot by 3 foot sign that says "Rip Takeoff" in the background.
Behind the roses.
Yeah, behind the roses.
And then had the nerve to have his pictures laying on the ground while their roses were propped up.
It makes no sense to me.
That's crazy.
It's the wildest thing I ever seen. So we're going to see.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. It's like that case been so under, like, quiet.
Mm-hmm. There was a tweet circling around that Takeoff's mom posted out, "I want answers by any means necessary." So we'll see what happens.
Right.
Up next, man, we got some upcoming fights. We're going to talk about these more after they happen, or if we get some more official news on them. But, Andrew Tate and Jake Paul are supposed to be fighting. That's definitely going to be a good one. And then Gervonta Tank Davis and Ryan Garcia supposedly supposed to be fighting early.
I'm about to say, we'll see. I ain't really talking that.
We're going to keep y'all posted. If they happen, we're going to let y'all know. But right now, it's just speculation phase.
Right.
The only y'all got it, I didn't look into this joint too much, but any information on the UVA shooting? I know they were saying it's the football players that got killed. And I didn't look into the person that actually did the shooting. I know he was on the football team or what actually happened. But
yeah, it was like, from my understanding, I don't want to supposed to the story. I forgot. It was like a party student. I think they went the team went on the
I know they had just gotten back from DC. Like they went to travel to DC, right?
Yeah.
And they got back. We might have to cover this joint next time, man.
Yeah, definitely.
I don't got the story. But up next, the world population just hit over 8 billion. First time ever in history, the world population is over 8 billion people living on the planet.
Crazy.
Mm-hmm. Steady growing, reproduction. All right, man. Now, this is a wild story. There's a Texas teacher that was literally talking to a group of like 5 or 6 Black students and telling them about how white people, that he believes his race is the superior race and that he's racist. The kids took a video of it. They posted it on the internet, and it just so happened that one of the kids, the sons that was in the video, was Southside's son. Southside of 808 Mafia. Message you heard, bro. Yeah, so that kind of helped the story to blow up. But the whole situation is wild. The man's in there talking to the kids, saying that how, the white race is a superior race, and I believe that my race is better than any other races, and saying that, this is how you should feel.
Right. It's crazy. I'm like, it show people that like it's crazy how people's ideology is. Like he said that thing, there's nothing wrong with it. Mm-hmm. The teacher. And I can't imagine stuff that's been off camera situation. Yeah.
So last report I heard that he was fired, but you know how these things go, especially in the school system with the teachers union and things. So, we're gonna keep y'all up to date as the story develops.
Right.
And last but not least, you got the World Cup. World Cup is holding in Qatar, and over in the Middle East. They got a whole laundry list of things that they say are unacceptable in their country, right? And that they won't be changing the standards of their country for 28 days while they hold the World Cup. So
yeah, that's
all those
crazy.
People that are going to be participating in the World Cup and plan on going over there, that, you know, you better read those laundry list of rules and adhere, because they said they're not playing any games, that you will be jailed if you break any of those rules.
And that it's crazy. It's like even with that whole situation, people don't know that 8 stadiums were built just for the World Cup. Qatar spent $220 billion on the. Usually, the previous country spent $7 billion. They built
That's wild.
8 new stadiums. So it's gonna be interesting what happens when the World Cup is over. They don't have enough leagues to support them stadiums. It just shows the power of the World Cup. And a report just came out that it was some of the Qatar officials were found trying to bribe 7 players that win the World Cup to win the open kickoff, like just to get the opening kickoff, like in a sports bet. So it's a lot of corruption gonna be going on.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure there's a lot of stuff going on in the Middle East. We can talk about a next pod, especially in the world of golf. Like they're paying like
sports
people
in general,
5 or 6 times what they're getting paid in the States to come play sports over there.
Yeah, LIV golf.
And then like the States are saying, if you sign up and play over there, that you'll be banned from my tournaments over here. So it's a lot going on, man. So we're gonna keep it posted.
Before it's over, what do you think is gonna happen when gas is not our main source of like electric?
Wow.
What do you think? What do you think is gonna happen in those countries?
I don't know what's gonna happen, but I'm gonna tell you, I was watching this video, right? And they were having some type of negotiation between a New York businessman and a Middle Eastern oil oligarch, right? And the New York businessman was like, you know, this is one of the best, you know, deals that we can offer, and that you should take it. And the Middle Eastern man was like, no, I think y'all can do better. And so the New York businessman gets up, he's ready to exit the room, and is like, no, when we go to electric, y'all gonna be back over there herding sheep.
Oh my God.
That joint was wild, man.
Hey, that's crazy.
We're gonna see what happens when the world gets electrified, man. What happens to all this money that's been thrown around?
Right. Line cities and everything,
With that being said, if y'all got nothing else, we're gonna go ahead and close it out. We out. See y'all.
All right.
Thanks for tuning in to Opinions to Million podcast. Please subscribe, like, comment, share. New episode dropping every week. You want to hop on the next one? Shoot us an email. Follow us on all social media at Opinions to Million. We out.